What's up, shit? Tim here. With the sad passing of Diane Keaton, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Diane Keaton movies because she's done some really great stuff. Comedy, dramas, romantic comedies. I mean, she was always incredible. And obviously, she is, of course, a Oscar winning actress. She's been in, a couple of Oscar winning films. She's worked with some really talented filmmakers and all. So, here is my top 10. Alright, number 10 is the Christmas movie, The Family Stone. Now, The Family Stone stars the likes of Sarah Jessica Parker, Diane Keaton, Craig T. Nelson, Dermot Mulroney, Luke Wilson, Claire Danes, Rachel McAdams. The list goes on. A really good cast there. I mean, far better. This movie is a far better Christmas movie that she did than Love the Coopers because that was so great. But The Family Stone is a good one. This is a dramedy that follows Meredith Martin, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, who's pretty much an uptight executive who joins her boyfriend Everett Stone's quirky family for Christmas here. And you, of course, got Diane Keaton, who plays Sybil Stone, who's a free spirit protective matriarch of the Stone family. And, of course, to be honest, it's probably a little, since Diane Keaton, just passed away, and it looks like, according to reports, she had a illness that she hid from, pretty much kept private. Her character in this now kind of hits hard because her character in this also hides her, serious illness as well. But The Family Stone is still a really good one. It is a really decent Christmas film, a nice dysfunctional family film, great cast there, really heartfelt. If you guys haven't seen it, that's a really good one there. Alright, coming in at number 9 is Book Club. This movie was much better than Hanging Time Spain. It stars four legends in the entertainment business: Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Kenneth Bergen, and Mary Steenburgen, who plays these lifelong friends whose book club takes a spicy turn when they decide to read 50 Shades of Grey. And it's a really great one. You had Andy Garcia, the aforementioned Craig T. Nelson, some other Ed Begley Jr. is also in this one. It is a really decent one, really heartfelt. Really love the chemistry with the four ladies here. Jane Fonda is always great. Diane Keaton is always good. It is a really nice little not really a rom-com. There's romance stuff in it, but not full-on rom-com. But it's a really decent one that is well worth watch there. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. I mean, the sequel also came out not so long ago, 2022 or 2020, I think it was. The sequel's not as good as the first, but the sequel was actually okay. Alright. Coming in at number 8 is Something's Gotta Give. Now, this movie, of course, was a rom-com directed by Nancy Meyers, starring Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, Keanu Reeves, Frances McDormand. And here you got Diane Keaton, who plays Erica Berry, who's a successful garden playwright who opens up to to love with this playboy named Harry, played by Jack Nicholson. And you don't really get really many rom-coms about older couples. You don't really get rom-coms with people in their 60s or 70s, whatever. But this was actually in their 50s and all. This was definitely one of the rare occasions there. And it's a really decent one. I mean, Diane Keaton is great. Her chemistry with Jack Nicholson is terrific. It is a really nice little rom-com that is well worth watching there. And Nancy Meyers, let's be real. She's like the Spielberg of romantic comedies. Alright, number 7 is The First Wives Club. Now, of course, this stars the likes of Diane Keaton, Bette Midler, Goldie Hawn, and it's about about 3 middle-aged women who reunite after her friend took her life, discovering that their ex-husbands have left them for a young woman, and they band together to seek revenge and reclaim their lives here. To be honest, this movie was released today. They did do a BT reboot, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, I'm talking about if this movie came out today, I guarantee people will be calling this movie woken, and say, "Oh, they're just making men be bad," blah blah blah. But still, it is a really decent one. Really great chemistry with Bette Midler. Really like Bette Midler and Goldie Hawn's tribute to Diane Keaton. That was really nice. But yeah, this is a really decent comedy. You also got Stephen Collins, which awkward talk about him nowadays. But yeah, it's a really decent comedy that's well worth a watch. Like the chemistry between the three ladies are great. Always love to see them try to pretty much seek revenge and reclaim their lives from their greedy husbands and stuff. But yeah, all right. Coming in at number six is a Woody Allen film, and that is of course Manhattan Murder Mystery. Now this is of course a directed by Woody Allen, starring the likes of the aforementioned Woody Allen, Diane Keaton, Alan Alda, Angelica Houston. And it is a mystery comedy about Larry and Carol Lipton, who's a Manhattan couple who suspect their neighbor is involved in his wife's sudden death. And Carol, of course, is the impulsive woman whose obsession with solving the murder drives the plot here. And it's a really decent, murder mystery comedy before. I mean, they obviously, this was like years before. I guess you could say this actually walked. How's it say now? This kind of walked so only Murders in the Building could run. You know? So, yeah, I feel like if it wasn't for Manhattan Murder Mystery, we probably wouldn't have only Murders in the Building. Because if you really think of it, like, go back, look at Manhattan Murder Mystery, definitely has a little bit of, similarities to only Murders in the Building that we have now. It's a shame that, we never got to see Diane Keaton appear on that show, because I would love to see, Steve Martin and Keaton on that. But, so, Manhattan Murder Mystery is a really decent murder mystery caper. Definitely has that Clue feel to it. And Woody Allen, say what you want about Woody Allen's personal say what you want about Woody Allen's personal life. Yeah, he's a creepazoid, whatever. He is still a pretty solid director and did a pretty good job with this one. Alright. Coming in at number 5 is Baby Boom. Now this movie of course stars Diane Keaton as JC Watt, who's a driven tiger lady who's evolved from a workaholic to a maturing mother and entrepreneur launching a baby food business. And it's a really hilarious comedy, definitely an 80s gem here. You also have Sam Shepard, Harold Ramis. It's such a really fun comedy. Definitely really did showcase some of Keena's comedic chops and really shows that she could do comedy very well. All right, number 4. Speaking of Diane Keaton, Woody Allen, Manhattan movie, number 4 is the film titled Manhattan. Now this movie is a little awkward to talk about nowadays because of the whole Woody Allen situation. Yeah. Now here, of course, this is a black and white romantic comedy that follows Isaac Davis, who's a writer navigating love and existential crisis here, and he, of course, ends up smitten with a younger love interest, if you will. Here, of course, you got Diane Keaton, who plays Mary Wilde, who's a intellectual journalist who becomes Isaac's love interest, and her confidence and competences challenges here. And they can say what you want about Woody Allen nowadays, but Woody Allen and Diane Keaton both had good chemistry. Of course, this was the follow-up to Annie Hall, and it's a really nice, love the black and white aspects. You also do got, this was one of Meryl Streep's earliest roles as well. Meryl Hemingway was also in this. It's a really decent one. Love the, as someone who obviously lives in Manhattan, love the, Manhattan setting. Really, always love, looking at movies in the 70s that takes place in New York and be like, yeah, it really changed a lot. But, yeah, Manhattan's a really good one there. Alright. Coming in at number 3 is Father of the Bride. Now, Father of the Bride is a comedy about George Banks, a father struggling to accept his daughter Annie's engagement. And Keaton, of course, plays George's supportive wife. And the chemistry between Steve Martin and Diane Keaton is great. Kimberly William Paisley was also in this, playing the daughter. Of course, you have Martin Short, a very young Kira Culkin. It's a really fun comedy, remake of the film from the 1950s. It's actually one of the rare times where a remake is better than the original. And of course, they did do Father Bride 2. And while we never had a Father Bride 3, we technically did have that Father Bride 3 ish. You remember, like, during the pandemic, they did like a little Father Bride Part 3 thing over Zoom. So I guess technically we do got Part 3, but it wasn't like an official type film. But still, Father Bride is a really decent one there. Alright. Coming in at number 2 is obviously one of the greatest films of all time, The Godfather. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. You know, I just realized, I think, like, I could be wrong here, but I think Al Pacino is, like, the, obviously, other than the director, Francis Ford Coppola, I'm talking about the cast of I think Al Pacino is, like, the only living cast member of The Godfather who's still around, so there's a lot of people from The Godfather here. But still, The Godfather is just one of, like, obviously, Best Picture winner. Diane Keaton plays Michael Corleone's, confident, college-educated, non-Italian girlfriend, and of course later his wife here. And obviously, she will go on to star in Part 2, which is probably one of the greatest dialogue she ever put out. Of course, she will come back for Part 3. I mean, she is just amazing in these movies. Really plays the part well. Her chemistry with Al Pacino is great. It's such a good one, and one of the greatest motion pictures there is. And obviously, her best film is none other than Annie Hall, the film that beat its Star Wars at the Oscars, believe it or not. But hey, you know what? If any film, you know, if any film deserves to be Star Wars, at least it was Annie Hall. Annie Hall is a really good one. Of course, directed by Woody Allen, starring Woody Allen and Diane Keaton. Of course, this is where, like, Woody Allen plays Alfie Singer, who reflects on his failed relationships with his aspiring singer Annie Hall, exploring love and insecurities and all. And Annie Hall is definitely a 70s classic here. The camera, again, it's always awkward to talk about Woody Allen nowadays because, yeah. Woody Allen still, despite the controversy around him, he is obviously a good director and all, but hey, just like Catherine Hahn's character Sarah in the studio, perverts make good movies. So, but yeah, Annie Hall is still a really classic one. The chemistry between Allen and Keaton's great. Love the New York style here. I mean, to be honest, I used to always thought Diane Keaton was from New York. Like, she's actually from LA and stuff, but I used to always thought she was actually from the city because she's done so many, like, New York set movies. I just always assumed that she was actually from New York, but obviously she's not. But so, she still did a good job with this one, and of course she won her Oscar for Annie Hall, and well deserved there. But that's pretty much it. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, The Family Stone. 9, Book Club. 8, Something's Gotta Give. 7, The First Wives Club. 6, Manhattan Murder Mystery. 5, Baby Boom. 4, Manhattan. 3, Father the Bride. 2, The Godfather. And number 1 is Annie Hall. Now, there are loads of other ones I could have added. Some of my honorable mentions is this little movie that she did with Morgan Freeman a couple years back called Five Flights Up. That wasn't so bad. Sadly, her last couple of films was a little questionable. Like, Summer Camp wasn't so great. Book Club Next Chapter was okay, just not as good as the first. Maybe I Do was pretty forgettable. Macarita. I really quite like that little movie she did in 2019, Palms. That was actually not so bad. She was, of course, in Finding Dory. She voiced one of Dory's mother. She, of course, voiced Dory's mother in this one. And So It Goes, the one that she did with Rob Reiner. Big Wedding that she did with the late Robin Williams and Robert De Niro. Look Who's Talking Now is a pretty good one. Hanging Up, Town and Country. Play Against Them, which I think that's actually the first movie she did with Woody Allen. Her film debut was, of course, 1970s Lovers and Other Strangers, which I don't think I've ever seen that. But let me let you guys. What are some of your favorite Diane Keaton films? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is